What's going on, Cancer? I salute the divinity in you, and welcome to the Chariot Friends. Justin here, and how are you feeling? Are you feeling empowered, feeling at home? The moon's at home. She's feeling good, and I do love when the moon's in Cancer. I think that this is a great time to really go within when the moon's here, when she's at home, when she's really in tune, because Cancer is the cardinal water sign, the initiator of feelings, where the feelings are first felt, that their Cancer's rooted, in a sense, to source. There's something really powerful in that. The intuition is really sharp. When the moon is in Cancer, there we can really pick up on the fluctuations and the how the energies are moving around us. But we'll get into all that here in a moment. But if you're new here, again, my name is Justin, and know that when you're coming across this video, you're in sync with the moon, and she loves that. But this is also a place for you if you happen to have Cancer in your placements. Sun, moon, rising, maybe Venus, wherever. This one's for you. And I do tarot cards, friends, based on that lovely luminary, the good old moon. And I'll talk about what sign she's in, what phase she's in, and when she's going to avoid, of course, just all them lunar shenanigans. And just so you're all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one, so take what fits into your story, discard the rest, and everything will be dope, Cancer. Now, let's jump into it. Because this is, I think that this is just a lovely time, and what a lovely day for this to fall onto, because depending on when you're watching this, happy Venus Day. Venus is associated with Fridays, and I find that Venus days are great for just one doing just like I find these are days when I shave, just do some self-care things, really kind of maybe give yourself this could be a great time to schedule like a bath, if you like to do baths, or maybe you do like a face mask or something really nice for yourself. Maybe you do give like a little manicure, maybe just even going out with friends, just enjoying the company of others. Being in a very creative place right now, Venus retrograding, and even though she's retrograde in Aries, this still is a very time to reflect on maybe how you can take more action as far as like putting your own sort of things out there. Maybe you want to start writing your own little songs, and just have your own little ditties to play, or maybe this is making more time to draw, or even just getting out and just appreciating the beauty in life, like letting just life inspire you. I think it'd be a great way of working with the Venus energies, appreciating the beauty that's around you and how invigorating that can be. But another way too that I like working with these types of days is thinking about my relationship with Venus. Where do I have Venus? What sign she's in, what house she's in? How do I understand when Venus is doing certain transits? What does that always look like for me? Venus has actually been going through my ninth house right now, and I've been exploring more, sort of like in getting into my spirituality. I've been working with more like incense and doing more kind of ceremonial things, doing some more just kind of beautify and venerate the process there, and that's been attracting some very welcome energy, and it's just been a very kind of nice touch. So those can be just some ways, how you can think about that, what house Venus is going through when she's making certain aspects. Venus in Aries, this is good. Once she goes back into Aries, that's gonna be lit. That's nothing but trine city for my Leo placements, so I'm here for it. So be here for it. She's a lesser benefic, and she can bring about some great rewards when you work with Venus there, especially if you have a night chart. That's something to pay attention to there too. Now let's get into the lunar shenanigans, because on the 7th of March, depending on when you're watching this, the moon is going to enter into Cancer at about 8:29 a.m., and that's going to be Pacific time, and she is in a waxing gibbous phase. Now the waxing gibbous, this is looking at the action that we may have taken during the first quarter phase, and now we're just making an adjustment period. This is the adjustment time. Let's say you started a new workout routine. You're just like, all right, I'm gonna do strength training like 5 days a week, and after like day 2, you're like, I'm exhausted. Maybe I'll switch this up. Maybe I'll break it up to maybe a strength day and do like cardio in between. Maybe that may be more appropriate. That can be a way of just a little small example of how to work with the waning gibbous phase. But On a more deeper level, when you talk about the moon in Cancer, this is a nice place for the moon because this is where she finds her domicile, where she's at home in Cancer. So the nature of the moon, the fluctuations, the waxing and waning of the moon, the nurturing aspects of the moon, the intuitive side are easily expressed in her home sign of Cancer, who is a cardinal water sign, like I was saying, receptive in nature. And I find that when the moon is in that nurturing phase of Cancer, when we sync up with the lunar cycles and give these portions, and the moon moves through its, the chart every 30 days and gives us certain things to work on to nurture. And when we work with the moon and get into that ritual of working with that, the moon can be there's an abundance that can happen with the moon in Cancer. This growth that you wouldn't see happen, but it starts with the feeling. Maybe you're feeling great and you want to keep this thing improving, or maybe you haven't been feeling so great and you want to change that, get out of this cycle, make sure adjust the energies here. But I find when you are in the flow of you, that's when the moon is shining best. And so this is a great time to just see what's off with the moon. Is there something that's been maybe jammed up, that's maybe been getting in the way that we haven't been dealing with, and then getting to the root of that in Cancer, see where we've been initiating from in that, and just come at it with that kindness, that tenderness that Cancer can bring, and that compassion and yeah, a lot of healing energy I think can happen with the moon here too. And I think there's a lot that, because it's interesting what your general energy of the day is. I think that's going to tie in very interesting with where the moon's at here. But I think that's actually all I have to talk with you about this sort of moon in Cancer here, because this could actually be, or I guess if I'm merging the two together, the waxing gibbous and this Cancer energy, I guess just as a whole, this could be a time where you got that experience, that feeling, you got the workout, you got your notes, and now it's just like, okay, I don't want to feel all exhausted in my workouts. I want to feel more energized. So let me try doing this, and it's like, oh, I got to do this running, and it feels good. Like this is something, and I like this. Listening to the feedback of the body, even though Cancer is a water sign, where we experience these feelings and where we're receptive of them is in this vessel. So tune in, but I think it's not getting lost in it too. Remember to try to ground yourself in the Cancer energies as well, because you don't want to get too swept up in the waters. And because Cancer hovers between, Cancer's unique, like Scorpio in the water signs, where it's like Cancer's not fully in the water but not fully on land either. It's just kind of going back and forth, and that's why I think it's like tending to the emotions and how's that translating externally. I think that play is an important thing for Cancer. So, and if you wanted to work with these placements more personally and get more familiar, maybe work with the lunar cycle, whatever that may be looking like, down in the description box is a link for the email to get in touch with me. We can discuss the different services that I provide and go from there. Form a relationship, build a family, Cancer. So yeah, if that's something that resonates with you, definitely check that out there. But I think that's all of it here. That's all I got for this. So let's go ahead and get into your general energy of the day here, which is the one that you have for the Gemini moon. The only difference here is that we only have one changing line this time, which is still that second line, which I found interesting. I took some little notes on that. I'll discuss that here in a little bit. But you got the hexagram 52, which is listen to the wind. And the oracle for this is, quiet your heart and be calm. Remember that even stillness can be a form of movement. The sage contemplates the situation in stillness. It is natural for the heart to fluctuate and the mind to flutter, but exercise restraint. Listen to the wind. That is how you will hear the answer to your inquiry. The wind will carry an important omen to you. Silence is the way to self-mastery. You show your strength to others when you sit tall like a mountain, walk with the formidable presence of a mountain, all the while calm and serene. Think before you speak. Silence is the way to prevailing in your endeavor. Present inaction paves the way for future gains. Now, in the context of Cancer, I think one thing to focus on in this oracle is that strength of the mountain, because this hexagram is mountain over mountain. Those are the two trigrams that form this hexagram. So there's a lot of earth energy here. And I really feel that there's a need to, when you close your eyes, visualize a mountain and how majestic that energy can be. I remember the first time when I moved here and I saw Mount Rainier, that just blew me away. Coming from flat ass Indiana, it was stunning. My mom had a very similar experience when she saw it. It's just, there's nothing like it. And I think that there's a need, especially in Cancer with Mars still being here, making movements out of here. But there's still an opportunity. The energies are starting to pick up. We're getting closer and closer to the eclipse. Who knows how people might get stirred up during this time, what emotions may be riling up. And this would be a great time with all, still got a bunch of water and all that Pisces energy and whatnot. And now we got the moon in a water sign, Mars in a water sign. I think that this is being a representation of that grounding force, giving off the presence of a mountain. When people sense you, you give off this energy of calm and serene because you're not swept up in this. I think this is a time, especially this thinking before you speak. This could be where you could, especially if we're talking about any sort of like emotionally fueled conversations that maybe need to be had, but this doesn't have to just be like an angry one, but maybe we sense something that's off in a person and maybe they're not ready to talk about it yet. So maybe this is going that kind of Cancer out, maybe just kind of dancing around this at first, doing this kind of in subtle sort of ways, even just letting a person know like, hey, just notice something. I could be just reading too much into it, but if you ever need to talk, I'm here. And then just letting that silence, like they could either leave it silence, a thank you, whatever, but at least it's paid the way. But I think there is a need to, especially if you've been feeling a lot, like, that heart starting to fluctuate, that the mind a flutter, that finding ways to calm that inner storm, I think is going to be something very important. Find moments for quiet. Work with the earth, work with material things. Maybe this is working with some stones, maybe just kind of rubbing maybe some rocks between your hands, or just sticking your hands in the dirt, getting your feet on the dirt can be as a very literally grounding experience. This could be just getting out in nature, just feeling the rhythm of the world around you. If you've been feeling this state of, oh goodness, maybe turmoil, maybe there's been a lot of anxiety, any sort of stress, anything that can help just kind of quiet your heart and calm, and maybe even just passing these little exercises along to others if you notice them doing similar types of things here. Because the changing line that we're going to be focusing on is the second line. And this is the one that carried over from this Gemini moon. And it talks about the calves at rest, calm and tranquil. No relief to their followers. The heart is not content. And so this one really speaks about maybe you find yourself doing these practices, finding yourself in the calm, but you're noticing that maybe there's still a lot of that anxiety, maybe in the social media that you see, maybe it's going amongst your family, maybe it's in the co-workers, or it could just be maybe that general sense of feeling just the world sort of problems here, and you're at rest, but there are other people in different situations where you're just like, well, how can I be at rest when there's so much unrest going on? And there's the heart not being able to be at peace. Because when you're at peace, that helps spread some other peace around. I think there's this ripple effect that happens here. You can't help anyone if you're all in a flutter and all in a panic. Cancer gets the mother archetype. The mother can't do anything if she's running on fumes. And she's got a family to take care of. So in order to take care of that family, she has to take some time. That Cancer energy, apply this again. It's not a gender specific reading or anything like that, but this need to take a moment and pause and just allow yourself know that you just being able to show stay calm in uncertainty can inspire others to just like, hey, what are you doing? How are you staying calm in this? What is like, yeah, like what kind of practices are you doing? So that's even something to think about there. So very interesting here, and we're going to get into, I think that's about all I have for you there. But I will say too, just I guess just one last thing with here, and we're going to go ahead and switch over. But I would just be mindful again with Mars being in Cancer, any sort of like getting, sometimes silence is golden sometimes, when you notice that there's a lot going on around you, and it's when you observe that, then it's easier not to get caught up in it as well. So that's just another little sidebar I just wanted to insert in there as well, just a little extra caveat while we're in this moon in Cancer, and the moon eventually will come across Mars and Saturn and all these Pisces placements. So just some things to think about there. But we're going to go ahead and switch gears. That's your general energy today. And we're going to go ahead and switch gears and move over to the tarot here. But before we do that, just so y'all aware, just like I mentioned, these readings that I do, they're not gender-specific readings. So apply these energies to people as they make sense for your situations. And I'm going to ring this bell to just a transition period over to the tarot here. So just to adjust your volume if you need to. But let's get into this thing. All right. So I'm going to be pulling 6 cards here, and then they're each going to cover a certain theme. And we will get a clarifier for the second card there, since that's where you got your closing hexagram at. But the first card that I'm going to pull is going to relate to any sort of like short-term money matter. So let's see what's going on in them finances. Nice. That's what we like to see. That's a great start off. So you have the 10 of Cups here. And this could be maybe a time where you're maybe, and that's very interesting. So we're going to talk about this in the next one. But as you see here, the 10 of Cups is a very family-oriented type of card here. And when I was looking over, just kind of doing the reading for the Oracle and just getting prepped for things and taking some notes, there was a mention that a certain kanji that can evoke pregnancy. So I would say if you're looking for a family or thinking about a family, this would be time to maybe start making some investments for that. Maybe this is like, maybe you're buying a onesie to maybe make this real. See, or maybe even go do some window shopping, possibly to see if this is something that's resonating with you. Or maybe there could be this sense of, if this is not like maybe like a physical family, this could be just wanting to be around those and just kind of celebrate in those that you call family. Maybe these are your friends. Maybe these are, again, maybe like associates, whatever that might look like there. But I think that this too is giving off an energy of really enjoy the present moment. Really just take it all in, because these moments can feel fleeting sometimes, and it's just nice to, there's something about when you're just really in them in that feel, especially in Cancer. I think that can be a very, very wonderful energy to kind of bask in there. I will say, I'm getting a little message there about just being mindful of, it's almost like an emotional buying. Like maybe you feel compelled to buy something in the moment. It's just like an impulse buy. But there's something about thinking about what's your long term goal here? Like, are you just going to become another thing that just kind of sits somewhere, abandoned, forgotten about? That's just another thing that's kind of coming through there. So again, apply that if that resonates here. Now let's get into the second card here, which was the talk of of medical matters. And keep in mind, this is not medical advice or anything. Talk with your healthcare providers, spiritual practitioners, all that good stuff there. But let's go ahead and see what's going on in the medical matters. Interesting. So you have the Strength card here, and this may be with in medical things. Maybe you're regaining some strength here. I was looking at there's just some things, some notes that I took down, and these maybe, again, take this as it resonates, but some areas that may be brought up or to maybe pay attention to are maybe something with the spleen, the pancreas, the muscular system, the lymphatic system, and that's especially with all this Pisces energy, the lymphatic is the one that to pay attention to. This Cancer energy with Mars and the moon being here, maybe stuff with like the stomach, digestion, that might be something to watch and to pay attention to what you eat. Maybe working with like potatoes, maybe mushrooms, and maybe cereals, roots, and types of things. Maybe just like some hearty meals, especially if you're not feeling grounded in this. But always use your judgment. You know how you feel at the end of the day. You know you best. So that may even be just something too there that's coming to attention, knowing your strengths, knowing your limitations, just knowing where the vitality is at, and just making sure that if you've been feeling like something's off and it's been like maybe nagging at you for a while, maybe booking that appointment. But again, just something to think about. But let's get a clarifier on this and get some details. That's interesting. So you got the Seven of Pentacles here. And maybe if kind of going to that pregnancy thing where I was talking about in this, there may be a time where you feel like maybe there's been just like some effort, some patience, some difficulties, like you've been just kind of waiting and waiting. This could be just like maybe to find the right person to have start a family with, or maybe there's just been a lot of strength towards there, not really seeing the results that you're wanting with the Seven of Pentacles here. And I would say in this time, just considering that we got this oracle, maybe take a moment, just kind of take a step back, sit in some stillness, regain your strength, because I find when we try to force things along there, then they don't happen. But there's something here about with some patience and the strength that comes with that patience. The results can get there, but it's going to require some endurance, some tenacity to get through this. So, and this might be, maybe you're waiting for like a result for a medical exam, and maybe it's getting where the feelings are kind of over the place, or sensing nervousness, and maybe finding some other ways to keeping busy. I just got a message of like a watched pot never boils, so that might be just something to think about there. And maybe it's even maybe it's taking a little bit longer to get back to your full strength than you would have imagined there. So, and even if if you're feeling good, feeling healthy, just making sure to take any sort of preventative measures. I don't think that ever hurts. Just making sure that you're getting enough rest, you're hydrating, things along those lines. I think that always been moving the body. I think that's always just good practice in general. But yeah, that's all I got for you there. Now let's get to the third card here, which talks about legal matters and social affairs. And keep in mind, though, that this isn't legal advice. Talk to your lawyers. Talk to paralegals, all those good people. All right, so you got the Six of Cups here. And, I think when it comes to social affairs, I think that this would be a good time to just go out and have some fun with some people. Maybe there has been a lot on your mind with the medical matters, and that might be a great way to just to clear your head, just to go out there, be in some good energy. Maybe go spend, like we were talking about earlier, maybe going out there and go hanging with some people you call family, or yeah, something along those lines. I think to just help, maybe especially if you've been in that maybe medical space, or if you've just been waiting for something in general, and you've just been requiring a lot of strength. Yeah, something to, because there could be, and this could even be, I think the Six of Cups can maybe even be an invitation to connect with some people maybe you've been meaning to do. Maybe you've had to put off some things, but maybe something else that's kind of come through, just kind of getting over to the legal matters really quick. This is kind of giving me this, maybe you've been waiting to see the results of, this could be maybe like some sort of adoption thing, possibly. Maybe you were waiting to hear about, yeah, just like some information on like a background check, maybe, or something along those lines there. Or, and which, I mean, the Six of Cups would indicate some solid news. I could see that as a time of celebration there. But yeah, I'm getting something maybe family related, maybe going on in the legal matters. Maybe there's a marriage that maybe is happening here. Maybe there's a proposal that's going down, but maybe you're wanting to wait till someone's getting over a cold, maybe, or whatever. Maybe you had date plans and things, yeah, whatever that might look like. I'm just kind of playing around with some options here, but maybe there might be, maybe we're waiting on some sort of divorce settlements. Maybe that's coming on there, and we're waiting to get to that sense of freedom, that sense of feeling, getting out there again. That might be possibly another thing that's going on there. And if it's been stressing you out, maybe with this money, with this, you have been tying into the medical matters. And and maybe this is something where dealing with someone else's maybe medical things, possibly. That might even be something that's coming through here with these legal matters. Maybe this is like a job that you do, and maybe this is taking away from some sort of, sapping a lot of strength here. Maybe it's been just taking up a lot of your energy, this waiting and waiting and waiting, or dealing with all these things. Maybe it's been a lot of back and forth, and it's just like, just maybe taking some time again to have a break. I think somewhere in between this is what that's saying there, not to get yourself burnt out. But let's get into the next one here, which talks about romantic matters and marriage. Let's see what's happening in that sphere. Look at this. We got the Chariot here. So if you're I just got, if you're in a relationship, this may be a time, maybe go on a little carriage. I remember I think they do those in Chicago, and I think in most of the major cities, going on a little carriage ride there. But maybe this is going for a drive with someone, or maybe you're driving to go get married right now. That might be, because there is a lot of some family things here, but so that might be something that is. I just got a visual of someone picking up someone in a car. That's cool. Maybe you got like a limo, making this like a whole fancy thing. But this, I think, even too, would be great for someone to get back out there. Maybe if you've been waiting for a while, maybe you've been kind of cooped up, maybe you've been dealing with some other things. It doesn't have to be medical matters, but maybe your energy's been tied up somewhere else, and now it's time for you to get back on your course. To start getting your journey moving again. Maybe you just had to put life on pause for a moment there, but. I even got an energy of even like just treating yourself. In the meantime, I don't think it's necessarily even just something there's like not having to wait for maybe someone to share in that, but you can share in yourself, or maybe even have like maybe if this is not a romantic thing, but again, maybe there's even just something here with inviting a friend out, having like a girls' night or a guys' night out, or something along those lines. I think Could be cool, and then who knows? Maybe you happen to go out with some homies, and then you meet a friend. Maybe this is someone coming to pick you up. They're like, "Hey, get dressed, get dressed. I got someone that I want you to meet." You could end up end up with a happily ever after there. All the costs, maybe getting a meal, or maybe going on a whatever that might look like, but. Just something I think to think about with the Chariot, but trust your intuition if it feels right. Maybe you're not feeling quite ready yet for that, so that's another thing to think about. But let's get to the immediately your next card, which is like the immediately pressing affairs, the things that are just kind of on your mind right now. So you got the King of Swords here, and the King of Swords is one that is maybe looking over a situation where things may have gone south. Looking at any sort of like past mistakes, kind of evaluating. And I could see him being a little harsh. So that's something that I would be mindful of. You didn't know what you know till you knew, and now you know. So I think there's something there, though, about when we're getting into especially the air court cards, I would be mindful. Maybe even if you have, like, if you're pregnant or think you're pregnant, maybe even keeping this kind of like a secret right now, not from your partner, of course, but I mean maybe from others right now. Maybe just letting this be just between you and just keeping it close between you and the person, the party, and closest party involved there. That's just one thing that's kind of coming through there. But I also feel with this King of Swords that there's going to be, I think, a situation where you're going to need his sternness. Especially when we're getting this listen to the wind twice, and this kind of getting, when it talks about no relief for others, and maybe kind of others maybe bringing you down. Maybe others are, you seem to get everything, or like, when's my time going to come? Or, you maybe feel even like it's like if like when you have good things going, but maybe someone hasn't been going through some, just like maybe having a tougher time, and so they have a hard time maybe appreciating what's going on for you when there's their thing that's going on. Feels a little complex with this King of Swords. He's maybe doing a lot of thinking, and it's just like maybe just be best just to kind of. Just to keep to yourself right now. I also think that there are maybe some big changes here that are going on. This because it talks about future gains in the long run with this oracle. So I think this King of Swords definitely needs to get some clarity on something too. It's like just looking at something from getting a bird, these owls, a bird's eye view on some things here. All right, now let's get to your last card, which is going to be the destiny or the karma, just like the consequences of actions and choices and things along those lines. Let's see what's going on. Nice, lovely. Here's the sun. So this could even be good news, maybe for that. If you have any sort of like medical things that you're waiting for, any sort of results, this could be that positive result. This could be that feeling good about what's going on here. Now, let's say maybe we got the news that we didn't want to hear. This at least gives that clarity, that King of Swords that I was feeling earlier. At least now it's like, okay, it's known now. Yeah, I might feel some type of way, but we got to go forward from here. We're going to keep it moving. We're going to process this thing. We're going to regroup. Maybe we need to discuss some things with some family, whatever that looks like. And then just remember to enjoy the times. That's just something there that I'm really getting an emphasis on here. Because this is a pretty bright reading, I kind of feel with this. I like that you got the Sun and Leo here. I like that. Let's get some advice from the moon. All right. So you have the Six of Swords here. And let's go ahead and switch over. Because the Six of Swords is, we've got something figured out and we're knowing how to move forward from here. We know how to, that's that, the Six of Swords is, the Six of Swords is this, again, it's like this clarity, this direction. And I think that the advice here is that maybe right now you might feel in a limbo state, and it might be hard to keep calm and keep in this, and not sure where the journey is going, but you're going to get to your destination here. We ended up with that Sun card. That's, but I think right now it's, while we're in whatever phase of our journey that we're in this Cancer, it's just kind of feeling your way through right now. But knowing that you're going to get to the other side. There's no one really steering this boat. Just really the birds just kind of, I mean, the bird could just fly away. But just choosing to be at the mercy of spirit, just to kind of let the energies move them where they need to be. Again, there's a lot of intuitive energy with Cancer, the moon being in Cancer here. And there's something here that I'm really kind of feeling this owl is kind of turning its back on. And I think it's really, it's choosing so, but I think in a way that is, it kind of hurts. I'm what I'm feeling. You want to look back, but you can't look back at something. Maybe this is a relationship that's past. Maybe this was the not knowing to knowing. But now they're just choosing to look forward. You remember, you can almost feel it on your back where you've came from, but now it's like, I'm not quite sure how to, hopefully that articulated well. But yeah, I think that's all I got for you there. Some interesting things to think about. But if you like that, if anything resonated with you, give it a thumbs up. And share this if you know somebody who would get some nuggets of wisdom from this. And then subscribe there, you son. Hit that bell button, get notified on all these videos each day. And then I'm going to get your surprise card or cards here. But know that on my other channel, Alchemist 8, if you want to find out what is going on with the other celestial bodies, and, as far as like what transiting planets, the sun, Jupiter, and the rest, there on my other channel, every Wednesday, it's a Mercury day, I release a video talking about what aspects are coming up and what planets are moving into different signs, what areas of your chart to look at, how to work with them, put them as to most practical application as possible there. So that's available for you. And I also have videos over there that talk about different planets and different signs and different houses. So definitely check that out. I've been enjoying that series. It's been a nice little, even kind of little brain exercise too, just thinking about the different ones and things about that. But that's available for you. But let's go ahead and get into your surprise card here. Interesting. I'm with it. And I like that. That's where we're going to be moving to next. Well, it'll be a lion instead of a tiger. But you have the leadership card here. And we got Leo. We got Leo. The strength card's already here. And I really think that there is this thing about you being, and all of us, being in this place of leadership. And leadership is not just that traditional, just like leadership. Everyone has a strength that they bring. And I think that there's a need to not get wrapped up in the storm, but like, okay, this is what's going on. How am I going to do to rise above this? What am I going to do to, these are the challenges that are happening. It takes a leader to do that. And I think to want to help others. But I think before you can help others, you have to help yourself. It's just like that in the planes, they talk about that. Put your air mask on because you can't help nobody if you can't breathe. So that's what I think is going on here, that this, this leadership, I think, is starting with the self. What's going on here. So, yeah, you may end up needing to take the lead on something here. Or maybe this is leading in silence. And just maybe just it's just the actions that are just following with this leadership. But you're giving off that presence. There's an aura that this tiger is giving off, this authority, just like a mountain, one that's calm, serene. It's not a threatening aura. It's just like they're comfortable with where they're at in life, with the changes in life. They see the Six of Swords. They see the direction that they're going, and we're going for it. Chariot. Absolutely. So, I think I'm going to leave that there. So, something to meditate on. But till next time, stay mindful out there. Keep eyes on that moon. And I will catch you on the next one. I'm going to catch you. Oh. That doesn't seem right. I had to check that again. Oh, no, that'd be on a Sunday. There we go.